What's going on, guys? No Can Smelling Salts and Counterculture have teamed up. This stuff is a pick-me-up. When it's late at night and there's not an Ultima in sight, you hit this. You're piled up the C4s on your passenger side. The roller dogs are burning over there. You don't need that. You need the No Can Smelling Salts. When you're getting ready to go to the gym after a long night shift, you hit this in the morning and you feel better. Guaranteed results. Use code CC10 for 10% off for Counterculture. This is what you need. No Can Smelling Salts.
What's up, everybody? As you guys know, we teamed up with Tasty Gains, Counterculture. The entire network has teamed up with them. They're a big supporter of ours, but we're a big advocate of them. You know, we're here on the road. You can have these creatine gummies. You don't have to pack the creatine powder and everything. You can eat a gummy, go out fruit snack, and you can. One gummy is 1 gram. You can have up to 5 a day. Look, I mean, another one. You can have them whenever you want, and they're fucking delicious.
Same thing with their pre-workout, the Tasty Gains pre-workout. Simple. It's in a gummy as well. You don't have to chunk down energy drinks and be bloated. Get sick of buying them. One container of pre-workout, one pre-workout gummy. Just as easy.
Yeah, and for guys like us that are always on the road doing something, these are super convenient. I love this company, and this is all we need now. We don't need any more of that powdered bullshit. So go to tastygains.com. Show them some love.
How about this? Fucking mic stands.
We're looking professional.
Coming up in the world.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it. Gay Pride. Let's try this again.
That's what it's called?
Gay month.
Take two gay people.
Yeah, so the first time we did it, none of the cameras worked. So
My bad.
They worked. They just didn't record.
Yeah.
I can see
You
myself.
gotta hit. There's a little red
I
button
can
that you
see
gotta
myself.
Take 2 as far as Pride Month, and I don't know. I said everything I needed to say. Now I'm like moving on.
hit. You've vented. So yeah, what you were bringing up was just the thrusting of pride down everyone's throat.
Yeah.
For the month of June.
Well, it's continued since we recorded yesterday. I've already gotten like 10 more reels of other agencies that are just, and but one of the ones that stood out to me yesterday was a bunch of overweight lesbians, law enforcement, in uniform, no vest, in the middle of a public street, screaming about yay lesbians and yay go. And the problem I have is, one, you should always be a cop. Tactical vest is a huge deal. 2, I don't understand the point of blasting that out. Like, you're gay, you're cool, we like you, everything's great, but by drawing that attention to yourself, it's almost like you're resegregating instead of bringing it together. You want to bring it together, like, just be gay, be cool, everybody gets along, we all do the same thing. But when you start to like make it such a big deal, to me, it's resegregating yourself.
Are we trying, or is society trying to make an adjustment, or is it society being forced to make an adjustment because regular in our mind is heterosexual? I'm just saying, like, to go back in history, like we're thinking heterosexual. The name for family, the type of family, a man, family. A woman, 2 children,
nuclear family,
nuclear. Yeah, there you go.
So yes, but I think maybe not justifiably, but it got so pushed on us that there was a point where if you said anything negative about the gay community, you were done. You were canceled. You were gone.
Do you think you can still have the nuclear family with 2 of the same sex parents? Or do you think the nuclear family requires male as dad, female as mommy?
Ooh.
I think, so I don't know enough about that psychology, I guess, of whoever, or that sociologist or whoever branded the nuclear family. I mean, I assume that's back from like the 50s. And if you were going to put it in like a Webster's dictionary format, it's just going to have like a B, where it explains, that it could, like this was definition A, number 1, but we're going to have definition B, which allows for variations.
But if you go with the science, of a man and a woman and then a child, there is a reason that there's a man and a woman and a child, because you get whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
You're talking about the biology.
You get, but I'm saying a father teaches you one thing because he's a masculine, testosterone-filled dude, and a woman teaches you the other stuff. And if you go just to science, nurturing, compassion, all these things that women are
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then all these things men are supposed to be, like the old days. Your mom yelled at you, and then I'm calling your dad. Your dad fucking pulled in the driveway, and I was
dad's
like,
the enforcer,
I
mom's
was
the
like,
nurturer.
oh God. So is a child getting the correct amount of exposure to everything?
I think if
grow up,
if they have two dads, they're getting too much nurturing because they're going to be overcompensating because they're gay. Because we talked about how, for some reason, dudes can't be like dudes that butt fuck other dudes. Like they have to be. They go above and beyond.
Sorry
I
about
don't
the
think
giggles.
all of them do, but yes.
Well, half of them do. The other half pitch or catch.
Yeah, but I don't think it matters which direction you're pushing your wiener.
I think it does.
I think it just matters on.
It does. That's the role. They
Yeah,
have
but
roles.
you'll see like big, strong dudes that are feminine, and then you'll see little, small guys that are masculine in a relationship because they got all kind of different stuff going on.
Yeah, but one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Like a Tom and Jerry, like a big and then a
yeah,
little.
like a bear. They call them
There's
bears.
Yeah, it's like a big hairy dude.
Ooh,
And,
man.
and I learned what a twink is. A twink is not derogatory as far as like just saying the word can get you canceled, but I do believe it was made without the demographic known as twink. It was made without their permission. So, like a twink is a young gay guy that groupies around older gay men.
Oh, okay.
It's very
so
feminine
they-
acting.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually very feminine acting, and then, but yeah, youthful.
Because I heard that word, I'm like, can I say that word? Is
Am I
that
allowed to?
But that's where it goes with me is like when you start having to worry about, when you've created an atmosphere where I have to worry about like so many new terms and new curveballs of like what like that. There's one that drives me crazy, and they're heavy. It's a dude that became a woman, I guess, and it heavy in Disney. I think it's in the one in California, and sets up the phone and then waits to get misgendered, and then throws a fucking fit. Wants to see the manager. Never come in here again. I feel threatened. I feel. You sound like a dude.
are they looking for a lawsuit or just content?
No, I think it's just content.
Just
You look
content,
Like a
yeah,
dude,
like
you
the
sound like a
phone's lean.
dude. You just happen to have makeup, earrings, your hair done like a
Yeah,
female.
pulled up into a ponytail.
But it's
yeah.
like they'll say "ma'am, ma'am, ma'am" because they know that they're supposed to, and then on accident,
Yeah.
in the midst of like dropping off a steak, like, "All right, sir, anything?" Oh, you just misgendered, man. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ! Like now you have a whole uncomfortable situation. It's like, whose fault is that?
'Cause there's a difference. There's a difference, in my opinion, between being gay and being mentally ill. And we talked about how LGBTQ. I'm so happy. I nail that every time now. LGBTQ.
you're getting really good at these live
Yeah.
reads.
There's a song like that. You can,
The
Added to
how
the reel.
you lumping everybody in together now is causing each one a disservice. Like, because I think men that think they're women and are not the same as a gay man.
Yeah, a
at
man
all.
that just loves another man, or a woman that just loves another woman.
those are two polar opposites. One could argue you're born with one. The other one can argue you're mentally ill.
Well, and then therein lies the question of because society, at least for the old school way of thinking, society is now having to open arms and allow and respect the alphabet soup that you're talking about. That they're, when you say mentally ill, are there mentally ill people now that are infiltrating it because they're like, oh, look, I can get accepted because this
I don't
society,
care
this
to-
culture
yeah.
is forcing another part of society to
Like I don't even
it and
identify as a
assimilate.
female, but I'm going to because I'm gonna. Society's gonna be forced to.
well, yes, and here's where I think the mental illness comes in is, let's take anything. If I love skateboards, and if I shove skateboards down your throat every chance, every time you see me, I'm like, so have you seen a skateboard today? I skateboarded. Eventually, you're gonna be like, dude, Mike's fucking nuts. Like he's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So if I am gay, and instead of just being gay, I have to tell you every 5 minutes that I'm gay and post how I'm gay. To me, it falls right into line with TikTok cops. It falls into some sort of mental illness. I'm not saying
podcasters,
they're
too.
fucking. Yeah. I'm not saying they're fucking like lock them in a room, but it's like at some point when you're
We need to know that.
overly expressing what I need to know about you, are you convincing me, or Are you convincing yourself? Are you just looking for attention? And that's where I think when I say mentally ill, I don't think like mentally ill.
Yeah.
I think mentally ill.
That's a good one.
I think mentally
It's
ill.
gonna bite you in the ass.
What you're talking about is mentally retarded when you do
No,
that.
no. They're both.
But, and then to couple with that is with the trans topic is what people when they're banging the drums of anti-trans with the Target allowing men that now say they're female or dress like female going into bathrooms and stuff like that. That's the biggest thing is that that culture wants everybody to be accepting of it, but what some of us are looking at it as is, but what about those people that are infiltrating your ranks that are fucking seen it as an opportunity to be a pedophile or seen it as an opportunity to grab a child?
Drag shows with like 5-year-olds stripping and adults throwing money at
Well,
them.
and it goes
Like,
into
what the fuck?
It goes into what we were discussing, which is the over-sexuality of the gay community and how it really, that's what I think, that's, no one cares if you're gay. Just like no one cares that I'm married and I have sex with my wife. No one cares. No one cares any other way. No one cares.
The only way you brag about it is by walking around with children. Yeah. Well, obviously he did something, that's the way you brag
don't run
about
up to gay people and yell, I'm having sex with this woman.
Yeah. No,
or like respect me more because I'm straight. Like
no one cares that two gay dudes are having sex in their house. Nobody gives a shit.
Nope.
But they do care when it's shoved in your face at the House of Blues and pretty much an open orgy.
Yeah, it's
and
nonsense.
Kids are
I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of things like that. Like if you're talking about it in a public area or in a club like that, like when you're talking about like swingers clubs and stuff like that, those are barely even advertised like that.
No, they're private.
Like, they're very private.
Yeah.
They're private memberships usually to join, to go inside. You have to know somebody. It's not just, oh, hey dude, we've had a lot of drinks tonight. We're going to go hit up the swingers club and go watch some people bang. Like, I don't know where those places are. I mean, are those places
sounds like a zoo.
Yeah. But to do that in a place like the House of Blues, which is in the middle of a
Disney
quote unquote
Springs.
family friendly,
Disney's
whatever
low.
your family origins are or whatever platonic.
Here's the thing: House of Blues won't let certain bands play there because of the imagery. That's not sexual. That's not anything. Like the band Ice Nine Kills is not allowed to play at the House of Blues because they had a logo once of like a Jason Voorhees Mickey.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's turning our
Branding.
culture into you're disgusting, So they banned them from the house. Now they've since been removed from that ban list because they're playing there this year. But
They've separated themselves enough from that logo or something.
and so now, but they got House of Blues allowing, I'm telling you, dude, an open fucking orgy. So I'll tell the story.
Okay.
I saw a detail come out, and it was like, hey, who wants to work the House of Blues? I'm like, oh, I'll take that extra money, So I show up, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? This is weird. And the other deputy goes, you know what this is, right? And I go, yeah, man, this is that band Red. I've been wanting. He goes, no, this is the Red event. He's like, this is kickoff to Pride Month. I was like, fuck. And sure as shit, they started filing in. They were told they had to wear. Disney was ready for this. They do it every year, apparently. Disney had people outside at Disney Springs when they came in, making sure they were wearing clothes. And once they cross the threshold of the House of Blues door, they can wear whatever they want, if anything. And
So they had to be up to dress code for Disney
but they would
Springs.
leave the fucking doors wide open at the House of Blues, and kids are walking by, and dude, there's dudes with assless chaps.
Yeah.
I didn't see any dicks at the front door, but I didn't go in, and
Just the two cops.
there were
a couple of dicks outside.
So I'm like, man, and like, so then, obviously there was reports of them all having, sex, which is fucking savage. Just to have an orgy in a public place. Like, that's like, I mean, I don't like to get too religious on these, but that's like a depiction of like like hell.
Hell, I
Like,
was gonna say, yeah, isn't that that's
that's a selling point for sin, but then you actually hell is actually people
Do
burning.
you think
but-
if you went to Disney and said, I'm going to have a mass heterosexual event,
where people are just going to be
gonna have
banging
sex.
and blowing
Right,
each
you
other.
wouldn't
or the porn star that
Yeah.
does 1,000
Yeah.
dudes.
You're
She
not-
says, "I'm going to sit right there in the middle of the floor
Yeah.
and
You're
just
not-
line them up around House
you're
of
not
Blues."
getting it. You're not getting it.
Yeah,
Or they're going to shut it down. Or they're going to have you guys go in.
Yeah.
There's got men and women having sex in there.
Yeah.
yeah. It'll be inside, and we'll put curtains up around it, and they'll still probably say
So
no.
then like anything at the House of Blues, like I've seen at concerts because I worked there a lot, it ends abruptly. It ends, and people start flowing out of the building, right? And they're flowing into the front part of the House of Blues into Disney Springs, and where this is the part where everybody would be dapping each other up, regular people, not overly sexualized people, dapping up. I'll see you later. Oh, that was a great show. High five. Maybe hug your friends. You know. These dudes were all friends, but they were all open sexually. So they were kissing on the lips, and then I was watching them. I'm not gonna lie. I was at a safe distance, watching them, and then almost not
3 feet.
studying them, but
Yeah, you were inquisitive. You
Yeah.
were curious.
2 inches away.
and they would kiss each other, and then they would just start making out,
yeah.
full on making out, and turn and swap and make out with other people. Like they're
That's how you get COVID.
idiots. Jokes on them.
They were giving each other the jab inside. They're good.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that
Yeah, and that's my point. That is why even if you get people that post too much about the gym and you're like, oh, this guy's annoying. Like he posts too much about working out. He posts too much about following his podcast. Like whatever, whatever it may
You
be.
see my podcast?
And you go,
You see my podcast?
Yeah, you go. That's annoying. Like I'm done following that. So as a society, when can we go? That is getting annoying. When can we stop following that? Do it. Be it. Why do we have to follow it and have it just like
No,
it doesn't make sense to me?
and it's not going to change because what in let's say we're in 2025, 2035, gays will be obviously completely accepted as far as their sexuality, their open sexuality.
I think it's pretty much there.
And they're working their way to make you accept minor attracted people. That's what they're working towards.
Yeah, and that's another one of those just the fears. And like for me, like I don't have any problem with, like you said, the family. You know, 2 guys want to get together, 2 women want to get together. However you want to live your life at home and stuff like that, and doing your thing. But it's the protecting
It's
of kids.
desensitizing. It's like if you told your grandpa about House of Blues, he'd be like, "You're telling me there's homos butt fucking each other in the House of Blues," and you're like, "Grandpa, there's nothing we can do about it. Just relax. You know, it's not worth it."
Yeah.
That's gonna be the same mindset because we're becoming desensitized. So when we're grandpas and we're like, they're allowing fucking pedophiles to interact with children, and people will be like, "Oh, yeah,
we
Grandpa,
don't
this
use
is how
that
it is,"
word
you know?
anymore,
Yeah,
Grandpa.
yeah.
That's
What we're turning into. I'm telling you,
Here's
because it's a sexual deviancy.
I don't think that one's going away, and it's one of there's a real ugly. It gets real ugly in that law too, with like the young girls that are like 12, 13, that have Snapchat, that are lying to these dudes.
Yeah.
I get back in the day because of genetics. When I was a kid, you knew what an 11-year-old girl looked like.
Yeah.
You were very obvious that girl is way too young. You have young kids walking around sexualizing themselves. And what I've seen happen is 18-year-old kids get on Snapchat and they meet up with a girl who says, yeah, I'm 16, I'm in high school, and then find out she's fucking 12 or 13. And your old brain goes, that dude's a fucking scumbag. He should have known better. No, your new brain goes, holy fuck, dude. Like, I thought she was fucking 16. Like, it's a problem, and that danger of the girls looking sexualized younger is exactly, you're right. It brings that, like, desensitizing to, well, she's only 11. And then we all go, well, fuck it. All the 11-year-olds look old enough. We'll just say it's okay to bang 11-year-olds now. And then it's not. It's not. It's very not. But I think that's what I think we're getting to.
Dude,
that's what we're getting to.
Well, but
it's bad,
so
man.
this morning on the news, I'm watching local team, Tampa Bay Rays, their shortstop's Dominican, and he is going to trial right now in the Dominican Republic because he has been banging a 14-year-old in the Dominican Republic. It's not legal there, but he's also
not legal?
It's not legal there.
Okay.
It's against the law. I mean, he's like at least over 20 or 30, or I mean, he's a fucking
he's lying
he's a
about his
baseball
age.
player.
He's lying about his age too.
Probably already was, because he comes over from the DR and already cut off 5 years probably. But he's going to trial. The girl's mom's already been convicted of some type of financial stuff, because she was taking payments from him as like a dowry to allow the baseball player to have her daughter at 14.
Oh,
so she was basically selling her. So that case is already over with the mom. So it's a matter of time. So I'm like, yo, they didn't even mention it in the news, but it's like, yo, this guy's not coming back to play baseball for you guys.
Late in my career, I saw several cases where I felt like, to even say this out loud sounds crazy, that I felt bad for the male. Because in my head, it's like, you have sex with a young girl, you deserve to get stoned to death. But there were cases almost similar where the girl was like 14, the dude was 18. Mom knew it. Mom had him at the house. Mom allowed it.
Yeah.
As soon as the kid broke it off with the girl, ding, ding, ding.
Yep, phone call.
Hey, this guy's been having sex with my daughter. And I remember taking the warrant, maybe she was 15 and 18. I remember taking the warrant affidavit to the state attorney's office, dropping off. I'm like, this should be denied, like no big deal. An hour later, I get a hit. It comes back. All right, approved $50,000 bond. I'm like, so this dude, for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But society is like, we're letting our young kids look bad or look older. We're allowing, and then you got these pedophiles and then the sex stuff and that community, and it's becoming.
Is there
so
a period
cloudy.
of time? Like, I had some guy at a fucking hospital ask me recently. He's like, what? Will I ever be allowed to get off of this registry? And I'm like, I don't think so.
No,
but I think I heard the other day that somebody only had to register for 5 years one time. Like, it was part of a penalty. But the guy, I didn't know what the hell his thing was. He was already like 70 years old. I was like, if you're 70 and you're still registering since you were 18, I go, that's going to be a 100%.
Unless they change the law. I did sex offenders for about 6 months. I did go check on him. I had a dude that was an offender, and the victim at the time was now his adult wife with multiple children. And he was still on the sexual registry for the woman he was married to, because she was like 14, he was 20, or it was pretty good spread.
I think they should have private.
But then they got all the way up to, now they're like 30 and fucking 55.
That's crazy.
And he's a sex offender the rest of his life, and he has like multiple children with the lady. And that's the only woman he's been
here's
with.
the thing, is that it's going back to a deviancy. And we talked about the spectrum of deviancy, one being what was a very minimal thing? Sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sex, like multiple people, multiple partners, sex life, all the way to pedophilia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all considered, it's a deviancy outside of sex with marriage. So when you look at that, like me, you, and you, I know for a fact, especially you have daughters. You have a daughter?
Two,
yeah. 2 daughters. We can look, we're just not attracted to young women. No. Like I don't even have to worry about that, ooh, is she 18? Because 24 and under, I've just moved on. I'm almost 40. Like, I'm not even like that wasn't.
Well, let's make it clear, you don't look at any women.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
She doesn't watch this, but.
Okay. Hypothetically, if you happen to.
No, I'm saying, but guys our age, that they're just, it's not even about checking out women. It's about
Correct.
interest in
women.
They look like little girls.
And
they're always
as a father of daughters, you follow that age with your kids.
So any
like,
girl that looks like your daughter is not going to be on, like,
even close. You're like, oh, you know.
They're kids.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
But then there's a fucking sick fucks that like
plays with that line, and you're like, are you really playing with that line because you love this girl's personality, or are you attracted to young women?
I worked with a dude. I'm not gonna say his name. I worked with a dude. He's psycho, and he did a lot of wild shit. He ended up getting let go. And I remember I got divorced, and the first thing he texted me was, "Hey man, you gotta come with me and hang out with these young girls, man." But and I'm like, "Dog, I'm good, man." I'm like 30s.
Yeah.
He's like, "No," and then he's like, sends me his Snapchat. And his fucking tag was like Cradle Robber 1, and I'm like,
"Oh, that'll hold up in court."
God, dude. Like, he's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this sick motherfucker, dude. And he had a fucking daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn. Like, then you start thinking, what happened with his sleepovers? He's got kids sleeping over with his daughter. Like, oh my God, dude.
Scary stuff, dude.
But bottom line is, be gay. do it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Do it all. Do it all you want.
Well, do you think people are born gay? And I only ask that because I'm not going to die on any absolutes because I don't know the answers. But at one time when I had taken a college course, I watched a study where they studied like 100 sets of twins, and one set had one of the boys playing with Barbies at a very young age, and he turned out to be gay. And the other twin that played with, I can't remember, they played with their respected gender toys. They're straight. And so I was like, that did it for me. I was like, man, people are born gay. Like, and then now that I think it's more.
Trend makes you gay too.
Yeah, right. But like, what do you guys think? Do you think?
But for me, it's the same way. I'm not a twin, but my brother used to always play with the Barbies, and I
Your
always
brother's
had
gay.
GI Joes, and my brother's gay. So I mean, the only reason why I ever grabbed the Barbie was to do this over the front top and just be like, "Oh, these boobs are cool," like
You're a pedophile.
Yeah, that's a
no,
deviancy.
she's a grown up. She's a grown up.
You know, Justin.
Barbie's
she's
an
a
old
A
grown
little
up.
girl this big is a grown up.
Maybe I like midgets.
Well, that's a hot topic now. They're all over.
He saw a set of tits for his first time.
I wonder if
things in the
yeah,
middle.
so- what are those things?
And the whole weird thing, like, especially in the lesbian community, where the chicks become men looking,
Yeah.
studs, and then they like date girls. But then it's like you talked about yesterday. What we didn't get was like you're attracted to a man that looks like a man, but it was a woman, or you're attracted to what is a woman now, but it was a man.
The question
It's like,
is,
what does that make you?
If you're a gay man and you're dating or with a female that transitioned from a male, are you gay?
But I don't know.
Right? The idea of you want to be with a female means you're not gay. You have a deviancy.
I think that men by nature are more deviant people, and I think where men end up gay more, I think, is dudes will fuck. Dudes meet women. Wives. What's always complaint? Wives don't have sex. They don't have sex enough. I think some dudes are like, you know what? I gotta stick my dick in something, and this dude is a dude.
I don't complain about my wife.
My
I mean,
wife's
I might, I don't know, but
I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dudes are nasty, dude. So it's like, fuck it.
no. And then you make
Then
a
you
whole
meet a dude
population
that's
of
like-
all dudes.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck a lot.
Well,
Yes,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. And
we
there's
could-
your fucking event at fucking
Yeah.
House of fucking Blues. But then you get like,
we could roll into the whole Middle Eastern conversation
Yeah.
about that, but that's
But
a whole
Dudes
nother
fuck
poly.
dudes for pleasure, and they fuck women for
sounds like SWAT.
Yeah, you can break all the SWAT guys' hearts when you tell them that the Spartans were gay as AIDS. Bro.
That was the hell. Who was that? That was the director of 300 that was on Rogan, and he was explaining that.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Yeah, they were gay. The myth is that, and apparently it's documented. Brent said it's not documented. Oh, Brent will lose his mind more than the moon landing if you bring up the fact that Spartans were gay, because he came in on Halloween with a Spartan helmet. And they're like the epitome of warrior, right?
Yeah,
Spartans, the epitome of free,
But they're
because of
red.
the movie
But
300.
they're with all men all the time, right?
Yeah, you take the movie 300 out of it. Like, let's say in our subconscious, they Men in Blacked us, and we didn't know what that movie was. We would now have a different perception of the Spartans, and it wouldn't be so hard to believe that they said that those guys were gay because they bonded on the battlefield because of that. Like, they had a love for each other.
Yeah, and
They were-
the deepest love is protecting one another. And all that kind of
Orifices.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. And the explanation given by the director of 300 was that there's written story of Persian spies that were spying on, or no, it was a defector of the Spartans that became a Persian spy. So he was coming over and he was watching, and he came over before the big battle, and he watched the night before, and they were just all railing, and they were all getting down. And he goes back to the Persian king and was like, "You guys are fucked." Like, they know they're going to die, and they're all willing to die because they're all demonstrating their love for each other right
Literally.
now. Back at camp. And they're all willing to every one of them to the death against you tomorrow in battle. So it's like, oh, okay, you know.
I would look at it the other
Hey,
way.
go get it. Good for them.
We got these guys in the bag.
They're all fucking. Let's hit them now, motherfucker.
Like,
saddle up,
go.
saddle up and ride.
Yeah.
Get on the elephants.
So, I mean,
And I make a lot of jokes about it on my page. I do. The pride thing, and the reason I do it is I just don't think it. My bottom line is I am open to you got everybody being gay. I have no problem with it. I just don't agree. I don't agree with anything.
look
being
at
that
the old
crazy
cynical
up your fucking face.
grandpa approach to it. Why the fuck does gay pride get an entire month, but veterans get 1 day?
You know June's Mental Health for Men Month?
And it's starting to make a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like really competing with Pride Month.
I've actually seen a lot more posts this year about June being Male Mental Health Month than I.
And that's the
ever remember.
counterculture in our society. That's what's changing. Is that it's not they again. This can't be construed. Is that they use that word right? What word did I fuck up yesterday?
That was good. Something with the grass, posture and pasture.
Yeah, it's something-
Pasture.
Yeah.
Oh,
he takes a good pasture.
He's got a bad pasture.
And I was like where horses graze.
I forgot what I was talking about.
But you were saying, that the counterculture
Construe.
of it,
Construe.
and it's
I don't want this to get construed as a gay bashing podcast because it's not.
No.
But there has to be a counterculture to everything. Everything we do, there has to be a counterculture to create balance. If there's not, you have like WWE taking over the entire wrestling world. Like it sucks now because WWE was the only one for what 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And wrestling went to shit because there was no counter to it.
Yeah.
So, or just like even the NFL, they're too big now. There can be no counter football league.
Yeah.
There can be.
Oh, it's boring.
Yeah,
I saw it the other day. There's like 3 dudes in the stands.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
try.
Some
Yeah.
football shit.
But
It's like,
and it's the biggest thing is that you just have to have discussion, and we've
Yeah.
spent the last 5 to 6 years not being allowed to have discussion about anything. You weren't allowed to have
I think that's
discussion
the
about
most
COVID.
effective thing we've gotten to is that we can talk about it again.
Yeah.
There was a point where you said gay, and everybody was like, anything from this point forward, you better
Yeah.
be careful.
And that's
You are on your own.
You better be careful from this point
That's
forward.
one of the things that I love to do, and I know we all do it. Is it's like when you're in mutual people that are having a conversation, find the most fucked up thing to say, even if it's rude or it's horrible. Just say
Get it out of the way.
To like get
Nothing
people
worse can
just-
come from after that.
Well, and then just to get people thinking, like, hey, this is the worst case scenario. And let's build back from that, and let's now, because if we pussyfoot around it or walk on eggshells around a topic, then you're never going to get.
Well,
to
to
it.
your point, we talked about having people like one of our friends is conservative Anthony, and he's a really good. He works with us on all of our podcasts. He works with our network. He's just a solid dude, big supporter of us, and he wears a crucifix around his neck. But he is gay. He is gay. He's openly gay, and
lives together with a man. I don't think they're
And you have
married,
people
but
that
they
wear crucifix that think gays are. You can't do
Yeah.
it.
but
Should-
here's the thing: you asked
throw holy water
Yeah,
on
you
them and
asked,
they burn.
You asked Brent's brother, Drew.
Oh, he's not.
Because I did, because Drew is a straight shooter. He's a very, very nice guy. But when it comes to religion or the Bible, he will tell you what it says and what it interprets. And he was a pastor.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was a pastor back in the day. And I asked him, I was like, hey, man, is there any way homosexuals can get into heaven? And he said, not according to the Bible.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's such a harsh reality to think because because I think it's easy. Like the fact that you are gay, you're going to burn in hell is a very, very harsh reality, but you can't divert from religion. Like you're not.
But like you said, it's written by men. It's
By
written-
men. Also, that's a great point. But also, here's the thing: is that the Catholics have now redefined suicide. Suicide, self-mutilation, and taking yourself like you're fucking with God's plan for you. That's a sin. You would go to hell. Now, the Bible's written unless you are under. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
The Bible says unless you are under the influence, aka like demonics, like something you're not mentally right. It's a mental illness. It's not suicide. You're not doing it to defy God. You're doing it because you're not right in the head. Therefore, you're cleared. You're going to go to heaven. Right?
So are they saying that your body can be separated from the will of God and stuff like that? Like, I mean, I'm not a
They're,
student of the
They're
Bible,
saying
but-
you're infected.
Yeah.
By
Okay, so you're
the
infected.
devil.
Almost
So the
infected by the
devil
devil. So
infected.
by killing yourself, you've
Okay.
cleansed yourself of the devil.
Okay.
Well, that and just you weren't by suicide.
It wasn't you making the decision.
You weren't trying to defy God and say I'm changing your plans for me because that's. But do you know how? Notice I had to put that up there.
Yeah.
As a visual.
Your finger wasn't off the trigger though. Amazingly.
I was ready to go.
You were there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think an argument could be for homosexuality is that, somebody could argue like they absolutely will get into heaven because, and here's the fucking shitty part that everyone's gonna get upset about, is that that's how Christians probably look at it, is that you're wrong and you're not right, and there's something wrong with you, and God still loves you.
But at the
Final, I don't even.
At the final,
we can't clip that.
At the final moment of any day, you can confess your sins and you're cleansed.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
So you could be gay into the
just
bottom of the ninth, and then
you gotta hope you don't get hit by a truck.
You can be gay to the bottom of the ninth, and then hit a walk off
I'd
home run.
I'd like to confess 60 years of
about
sin.
I was wrong about all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the.
But you're a sinner. You are.
we all are,
Like
absolutely.
that's what it's so hard. Like, I don't know.
I think that
Not trying to pass judgment.
That extreme is a little too much for me. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't go. I mean,
I don't think
you
so
shouldn't go to heaven because you're gay. I don't agree with that.
No, me neither. I think that it's like you just said. That was man writing the Bible and not doing
Straight
a good
man.
job of saying,
man.
not doing
Very
a good
straight.
job of saying like, hey, this isn't what God wants. So if you're not doing that and you're fucked up.
They would have
Like,
killed you back then, though, when
Yeah.
the Bible was written. They'd stone you to death.
They'd blow you. Oh, they didn't have
They didn't
bombs.
have bombs in. They might have. The pyramids got those power plants below them.
Plants.
But
Those are from another civilization.
yeah. But
Wait, okay, we're gonna get off topic. But
no, but they would have. So I agree that being gay wasn't very popular back then. So I can see where as a
but
man
it was. That's the crazy
It
part.
was, but it wasn't. It wasn't. But there was people that somebody had the pen. There was only a few pens to go.
Yeah.
around.
Right.
Somebody had the
Yeah.
pen in their hand and said, "This is just like laws. This is no good."
Yeah.
Like you couldn't. I mean, it was on in the books. You couldn't commit adultery 100 years ago. It was a crime. So it's like somebody wrote that down. I was like, that's the rule now. And I'm not saying the Bible is all just made up rules, but if somebody didn't like that, hey, sneak that like a bill, like sneak that little extra part in there.
Yeah, like a
toss that
bill in
there,
Congress.
you know? So it's like
There's a little bit of pork in
because
the Bible.
if you go based on, pedophilia and being gay, that's really, I mean, there's a billion worse things than being gay, like criminals and fucking terrible people.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not to me something they
Well,
should get in heaven.
we're starting to use spectrum for everything now.
I'm on the spectrum.
There's a spectrum now for
Autism.
sexuality.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what, and I think that's what it is. I think, that's what we talked about. How
I was just trying to
people
figure
in
out how to work it
the
in without
Bible-
saying. We talked about this yesterday.
yeah, the Bible was like, hey, maybe the people that were like, hey, you got to be straight or gay. There's no in between, and so we've been conditioned to, if you're 5149, but you're conditioned to go like, well, obviously I'm straight. I like, but someone off that spectrum might be like, I'm more open to sexuality.
Did you catch a gay
Did
bug?
you even get it?
I don't think I got it.
Gay bug tried to bite you.
Got him.
Got him. Not today, but
I'm like, no.
it's like Tinkerbell.
I got it. I went full handed.
How about this take that just popped in my head? When we talk about gay being not even good, how many parents do you think would give anything to have their child back that they over-bullied or treated so bad when they wanted to come out or came out that committed suicide?
Okay.
Probably.
I was like, man, where are you going with this
every
question?
one of
But,
them
okay.
want their kid back. I mean, think about it. You
there's
went so
there's
hard on your kid that you can't do that. You can't be, and then they go and do something crazy and kill themselves over being
especially
gay.
those hyper religious that are trying to like pray
Yes.
the gay away.
Can you imagine
and like
praying
forcing
the
their
gay?
kid into a camp and stuff like that, and then the kid ends up taking their life, and then
Yeah.
did they get a light
Can
switch
you
turned on to
imagine
go?
going, holy fuck? And I wonder if those people are so fucked up in the head that they don't feel anything.
I think you're 50-50 on
or
you're
do they
getting
go,
50% of them.
All
Then
right,
maybe a
my
light
kid would have
switch.
been a fucking excellent contribution to society. Would have gone on to be XYZ, but he's gay, and because of it, I fucking bullied him and he
But
killed
then
himself.
50% of them are like, that was the Lord's plan.
Yeah.
He wanted him off
yeah.
this earth. He was a sinner. No, it's a terrible thing to even past my lips.
Yeah,
I
that sucks. But that's,
I wouldn't want to say something like
yeah,
that.
no, but you're right. There is half the people would agree that he should have gone, and then half the people are going to say. I think that's that's my argument with this whole thing. I think society has opened up their arms to everybody being gay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be gay. I think the problem is still people going.
And here's the thing,
it doesn't
too.
have to be so wild.
Every man has to go to the pearly gates at some point. That's you. Your life is you. As long as you're not committing crimes, you have a job, you contribute to society. I don't give a fuck what you do.
Yeah,
and it's not on me. It's not on me to get you. I don't have the right to give you permission to be gay. Also, like I have no right. There's one person that judges, and that's fucking God, and I have nothing to do with that. But I do have a problem with seeing two dudes fucking blow each other in front of my kids. Yeah. That's where it becomes my problem. Yeah. And it's the over-sexuality of the culture.
Would you have a problem with a fucking woman blowing a dude?
But society doesn't accept that.
Don't get that twisted that Karen calls on a guy and a girl in a car banging in an empty parking lot when it's a guy and a girl. Just the same as Karen calls when it's two dudes. But you can't get all feisty and upset when the cops show up and it's two dudes.
We are Counterculture Inc.
We have to roll up on guys.
Wild, huh? Wild.
I think the bug got him.
I was just talking shit to Karen.
Get all feisty and upset.
I think he winked at me.